thank you. And KW1NG, W6DQ, back here. All right, guys. Nice signals tonight. Hearing everybody just fine. Let me go through the next group, and then we got a few more minutes, and I'll make one more call for check-ins, and then we'll start the net. So, Dave, you're up, WJ6W. Give it to Raul, K6ASN, and if George is back, Raul, you can give it to George, W6YEC. Otherwise, it'll come back to me. So take it away, Dave, WJ6W, W6DQ.
Okay, Dennis, W6DQ, WJ6W. Yeah, we got a phone call, so we kind of missed what was going on here. But we're back now, and sounds like people are doing pretty well. George, W6YEC was not very strong here, not his normal 20 over, about an inch 7 or 8. I think he said he was having some antenna. So he might be strong up your way, Dennis, but it's not so strong here. If you're listening, George. Anyway, let's see, we're running the KWM2 tonight, as usual, 312B5 and 30L1, so we're all Collins using our Heil PR40 microphone. And I guess that's about it, up to our inverted D that we normally use. And let's see, Kim, I'm glad you're enjoying the 7300. I think, as I said before, I'm kind of used to the ICOM control interface, so I favor ICOM. And I think their bigger radios are just fine, but I guess that little FTDX10 was too much stuff packed in a small area for you to really be comfortable with. Anyway, so let's see. I'm going to send it over to Raul, K6ASN, WJ6W.
WJ6W in the Collins group, K6ASN. Here on the ICOM 7610, going to Ameritron 811H, doing about 400 watts or so into a 130-foot doublet. The apex is about 55 feet or so high. The aim about 10 feet or so up in the air. Yeah, just here getting ready for the reading contest in a couple of weeks. So about got the antenna form where I like it, useful anyways for the contest. So looking forward to that. But that big around the country camp that you're talking about, boy, that sounds like a good trip. I don't know your timing, but I've always heard good things about the changing of the seasons fall or so over in New England. I don't know if you're going to be able to find a trip to pass through there about that time of year, but yeah, definitely should be something. But anyway, I think I brought enough. I'll pass it over to W6YEC in case it's there.
George is back yet, so I'll pick it up. Yeah, Dave, I think George was running barefoot, so that's probably why I think that's what he said, that he was running barefoot and having antenna problems. So I got one more check in here before I start the net, so go ahead.
Kilo, Foxtrot, 6, Quebec, November, Golf.
All right, we got Lisa on the list. So I'm going to go ahead and start I'll start the net at 7 o'clock, and I'll look for some more check-ins in a minute. All right. This is W6DQ, Whiskey 6 Delta, Quebec. My name is Dennis, and I'm located in Inyokern, California, and I'll be in net control station today. Welcome to the regular Friday evening West Coast edition of the Collins Collectors Association, Collins Net. We meet here every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, and that's 0200 UTC Saturday morning, to exchange information on Collins radio-related topics. We welcome questions and comments on the restoration and operation of Collins amateur, military, and commercial gear. You don't have to be running Collins equipment to join us. Anyone with an interest in Collins radio is welcome to check in. Of course, the purpose of the CCA is to promote the preservation, restoration, and use of Collins amateur radio equipment and to preserve the history and lore of Collins radio. In addition, we provide a technical and historical information archive for Collins radio information. CCA has been licensed by Rockwell Collins to use images, logos, manuals, and printed materials. Of course, you guys know all the information about the Collins Collectors Association. You can go find out more information if you don't have it at our website, Collins Radio. That's one word, collinsradio.org, collinsradio.org. And you can always help our efforts by joining the Collins Collectors Association. We also have a Zoom session that we do with Net. If you're interested in joining the Zoom session, drop me an email, W6DQ@ARRL.net, letting me know that you'd like to join in, and make sure you let me know who you are in the email. I get a lot of emails that don't have any names on it and just some obscure email address that I have no idea who it's coming from. So I appreciate it if people would identify themselves. Okay, so that's it for the preamble. Let's see if we got anybody else that'd like to join us. This is W6DQ. I'm the net control this evening for the Collins Net. Please come down.
W6RBJ, Whiskey 6 Romeo, Bravo, Juliet.
Okay, I've got Mel, WA6JBD, and I've got Ron, W6RBJ. Very good. Good evening, guys. Anyone else? Okay, nothing heard. Very good. Well, welcome, guys. All right, let's get this show started. I'm going to do this in groups of 4. We'll start at the top with Chuck, N6AF, over to Mike again, W6MVM. And then Mike over to 10. He's Kilowatt Whiskey 1 November Golf, KW1NG. That's 10. And then 10, send it over to Dave, WJ6W. And Dave, go ahead and send it back to me. So take it away. Chuck, N6AF, W6DQ.
All right, thanks, Dennis, and good evening. Good evening a second time to the people that were here earlier. November 6 Alpha Fox. I had mentioned in the pre-chatter that it's still about 95 degrees out, and it's supposed to be the same tomorrow, so a couple grandkids are coming over in the morning, and we're going to take them in our little Dolphin motorhome over to the coast where it is about 20 degrees cooler. So that's going to be that'll be an enjoyable break for them. They live out in the valley in Tracy, and it's probably over 100 every day for the last few days. So on the radio front, I'm on the usual 1963 KWM2 and a SB220, but backed off. And haven't been doing a lot of radio projects. I just realized nothing has broken in any of my radios, so I think the Board of Equalization is going to catch up. I better keep my voice down, but everything is working. That's a scary feeling. I remember back at Harris when all the projects seemed to be going really well, and you kind of had a moment to sit down in the cafeteria with your coworkers and have a cup of coffee. We all kind of agreed the storm is brewing. Sure enough. So I have a project on desk number 3, and that is at the single 3500Z. Basically, it'll be like an AL80A, I guess. So that I captured off eBay a mint, new old stock, one-stop shopping transformer for the. It's for a SB1000, which was Heathkit's equivalent of the AL80A, I believe. And I keep saying A rather than B because I think the B version has a trick circuit there to throttle back the idle current off of voice peaks or something. But we're not going to do anything like that. It'll just be your basic triode amp. But that is kind of sitting there watching me work on a new bicycle project. It's an S-Works frame, and I'm building it up. I took it out on a ride today, and I'm still kind of tweaking things, but basically building it from the frame up. And there's always some little nuances and tweaks that you have to do to get all the final creak out of it. I want to get that last tenth of a dB out of that lineup on that carbon fiber transmitter that's transmitting my power from my legs to the tarmac. All right, onward. Mike, W6MVM from N6AF.
Oh yes, N6AF, W6MVM. We're kind of crippled here because we've been moving. The whole ham shack is in the shambles. But I've got my desk in here. I got things starting to come together. We're going to build this up. Right now we're on the Flex Barefoot. We do have the LS1300 in line, but the power supply isn't hooked up yet. I got to do that, and that'll give me 1,000 watts or more. Anyway, we're also going to be the KWM380 and hook that into the LS1300, and we'll also have my old 7800, which I truly love for just nets. Just conversational is hard to beat. For CW, contesting, anything else, it's hard to beat the Flex, the 6300. I got 3 of them, and they're great transceivers for contesting and other things. Excuse me, they integrate with the software and all the software that I need to do and everything else. But also I have the S-line desk laid out, and we'll get that back on. And I have the A-line desk laid out. So we're going to have all of those back in the shack here in the next few weeks, if not the next few months. Anyway, we will have the S-line back up probably by the next Collins net. So anyway, enough said. I'm going to pass it on to KW1NG, Ken, W6MVM, if you can hear me.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mike. Chuck, I run an SB1000. I think it's a pretty darn good amplifier. I get 800, like right now I'm about 800 watts peak, something like that. I crank down the 32S3 with the mic gain just about at 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30, something like that. And puts out just enough power that way to keep the grid current under control. I like that it has nice big meters on the front of it, and it tunes up really easily. And that 3500 is just a pleasure to have because I like to be on the AMI net, and that's why I switched to that. I still have my 30L1, just not being used right now. I'm considering setting up another station with that in line, but with the Heathkit amp here, the SB1000, the 3500, I can run 250 watts carrier all day long, so I really enjoy that. I'm on the S-line tonight, 75S3C, 32S3, into the SB1000, and through an MFJ998 tuner, which I think works quite well. And there's a short piece of coax up to the attic where it transitions with a 1-to-1 balance to window line, and I twist the window line quite a bit, and it runs out the attic. It's about 90-foot run inside the house, and then it goes out to the loop, and it's about another 40 feet to the loop. So not much loss in that window line in that long a run, which I think contributes to the loop's effectiveness. Let's see, we had a real nice day here. Like I said, spent the day planning our trip, and yes, Raul, I'm going to be back in the eastern area for the fall change in the late September, early October time frame, so hopefully I'll see the change then. Yeah, we have the furthest east people we're going to see are friends in the northeast corner of West Virginia. they should have a nice change there. Then we're gonna go across the north part of the country through Wyoming, South Dakota, see Mount Rushmore, and take a look at the Ford Museum there, and near Detroit, Dearborn, and go down to Ohio, see a few other museums, and then go see some friends. We have friends in Ohio, we have friends in West Virginia, we have friends in Tennessee, and see a few sites there in Tennessee, go to Dollywood and all that, and then loop back around through the south, and then come back and see our friends in Texas and our friends in Yuma, Arizona, on the way back. So we're planning 5 or 6 weeks, something like that. So hopefully it all works out, and we're looking forward to it. All right, I think let's see, it goes to Dave, W6DQ. Take it away, KW1NG.
KW1NG, WJ6W. Yeah, very good. Well, let's see. We're copying really strong signals from Dennis and Ken. And Chuck and Mike weren't that strong, but very good copy here. So that's kind of a signal report. I didn't know if neither reading or anything. But conditions are okay tonight, I would say. And Ken, the SC1000, Gordon Gray. And you're on to 6 weeks. Boy, it's going to be something. You're going to see really large parts of the country. And some of them I haven't seen, but I've been through Wyoming, South Dakota, the northern strip there, and enjoyed South Dakota at the time we went through and seeing the sights there. So that was a lot of fun. And seeing all the fall colors, that'll be great too. So very good. Let's see, I think I mentioned I'm running the KWM2 and 30L1 tonight, and don't have much to offer in the Collins area. Our high today in Tarzana was 105 degrees, maybe 106. Right now we're down to 90, let's see, it's 7 something, so I guess it's kind of on schedule for a cool down for the evening, but we're certainly in the heat of the summer. So let me continue on here and turn it over to Raul on K6ASN, WJ6W.
No, it comes back to me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, okay, Dave, no worries. Yeah, this is W6DQ net control. It does come back to me at this point. Let me see if I got it. Okay, good. All right. Well, signals are good tonight. Hearing everybody just fine. Chuck on the KWM2 and your amplifier. I think you said you were on the either an SB200 or SB220. I didn't catch it. But you look really good tonight. Real clean signal tonight. Thanks for that. And Mike, with the Barefoot 6300, you're doing just great. Your S9 Plus here. Nice signal. And I sure like my 6700. I think they're just a wonderful radio, and that's my main go-to radio. Although we've got a lot of other radios to use, that is the main go-to radio now. So I love that 6700. I've also got a couple of 5000s, and I've got 2 1500s that I use with transverters. So that was kind of fun. I used to run 10 gigahertz mobile using a 1500, a laptop computer, and my transverter with an omnidirectional antenna. That was always fun. You had to run FM to keep it from getting the Doppler shift. Let's see. Yeah, Ken, you're just monster signal up here tonight. Yeah, I think you're right. It's the antenna. That makes a big difference having the loop. I sure like using the loop here. It makes a big difference for me as well. So we're feeding it with true open ladder line out to the loop, which is 540 feet of wire up about 50 feet. And it seems to do the job, so we like that. Using I might as well describe the rig. We're running the KWM380 tonight with the Alpha 87A. That goes out to a Palstar Auto HF Auto tuner, which goes to a 1-to-1 balun out to the loop. And that's how we feed that balance line out to the loop. It's got a very, very short piece of coax, about 1.5 1.5 feet long that goes from the tuner to the balance, and then out through about 60 feet of ladder line. It's basically just going right through the wall, right by the tuner, and up to the loop. So that works very, very well. Using an SM280 microphone, and everybody sounds great. Dave, you're sounding great on the KWM2 and the 30L1. You always have a great signal up here, and it's always nice. And I was going to make a comment to Ken about the 7300. Yeah, we've had the 7300 practically since they came out. I was a very early adopter, and I love that radio. It gets used a lot. In fact, it just made a trip on. It's been used on how many field days now? I guess I used it in the first field day right after I got it, which was back in like 2019, or 6 years ago, so 2018 when I got it, when they first came out. That's a great radio. ICUP did a really, really good job on that radio, so I like that. I've got the 9700 as well. So I don't use the transverters as much anymore now that I've got the 9700. So it takes care of that. Let's see, what else? Oh, you guys are talking about temperatures. Well, hold on to your shirt. 113.5 recorded here at the house today. 113.5 on my weather station. Wow. Yeah, it was warm. It's still, I was just looking at it, it's still 106 here. And it's not going down anytime soon. It may get down to maybe the high 80s overnight if we're lucky, and it's hot. Anyway, that's what's going on here. Oh, but it's a dry heat. I have to add that. It's only 10% humidity, and it was actually lower earlier. It was like 8% humidity. So, yeah. Oh, well. We love it anyway. Let me see if there's anybody else who'd like to check in now that we got the net started. This is W6DQ. Please come down. Okay, I got a November. You'll have to give me that call again slowly. November something 5 Lima. Go ahead.
Yeah, November India 5 Lima. NI5L. Warren out in Southeast Arizona.
Oh, very good, Warren. November India 5 Lima. Yeah, you got me there for a second. We have one of our regulars on here is NY6L. So it's like, wait a minute. I know that's not J. It doesn't sound like J, but very good. Well, thanks for joining us. Is this your first time on the Collins Net?
Yes, this is my first time on the PCA net. I'm running a KWM2 driving Alpha 99 to 701.
Okay, super. Well, I've got you on the list, and we'll catch up with you very shortly. You'll be not in the next group, but the group after that. So, great on the KWM2. No problem copying, and we'll hear a little bit more about you when you come around there. So, my next group, I've got the next 4 will be Raul, K6ASN. Raul, it goes over to George, if George is back. If not, I'll just move George down to the end of the list. And then it goes over to Lisa, KF6QNG. And then Lisa, you can give it to Mel, WA6JBD, and Mel, give it back to me. So Raul, take it away. K6ASN in the Collins Net, W6DQ.
Yeah, thanks for that, W6DQ and the Collins Net. This is K6ASN. Yes, here I was sending 400 watts through about 110 feet of ladder line up to a doublet. Want to experiment someday with moving from the box stock window line out to true 600 ohm ladder line separators and all, but that's definitely a project for another day. But Ken, looks like you're going to have a pretty good time with that trip. I'm just thinking of all of the good food and diners you'll come across along the way, and be able to sample the different regional food. That's always a good part of any good road trip. Circling back, we're going to be circling back to the 30L1 in a couple of weeks after this rating contest goes away after the 20th. Going to be looking for someone somewhat local who can test 811A tubes. I've got a handful of them here, but I'd hate to do any damage to the amp or to a radio. Testing it, firing it up on some bad tubes. So if anyone knows of anyone who can test 811A power tubes, definitely I'd like to hear about it. I'll keep it short and pass it over to W6YEC from K6ASN.
I guess, George, you're not back yet. I don't hear you. Okay, we'll come back to George later. So it goes over to Lisa, KF6QNG, in the Collins net. Take it away.
Okay, thank you, and Dennis, for running the net this evening, and good evening to one and all. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. It's one of those weird weeks, having a holiday, not really in the middle of the week, but anyway, strange. But busy. I actually left work, normal time. I've been trying to work extra hours, but the air conditioning in our building decided to go out. So after about 30 minutes, it was starting to get pretty warm. So I was like, yeah, forget it. I'm going home. Get out of this stuff. So anyway, glad to hear everybody out there, and looking forward to the rest of the net. So with that, where am I? Goes over to Mel, WA6JBD from KF6QNG.
All right, thank you, Lisa. KF6QNG and the Collins WA6JBD. Well, as everybody knows, I'm hot today. So I've been spending the last couple of weeks, including during the doing some work around the house, doing some antenna work and so on, chiseling away at it, and it's 15 or 20 minutes of dealing with it, and an hour inside drinking water and cooling down and the work. So I'm getting stuff done. Dennis, you'll be interested to know in just a second. I had to shift my foot on the foot pedal. You'll be interested to know that I got a rigid waveguide run in from the where the steerable 10 gig antenna is going to go back into all the way to the power amp. Rigid waveguide the whole way. It's got 0.3 dB loss. So I expect that to work out pretty good. And it's probably about not a huge long run, probably about 18 feet or so total. But anyway, that's been fun putting all that together, especially in the summer heat. And you guys, a couple of you had mentioned ladder line. And I've got to note that on 75 meters and 42 usually, the loudest stations that I hear, you always find out that they're running a balanced antenna with ladder line. It kicks butt. That's what I'm running here, a doublet with ladder line on it, 600 ohm line. And the station tonight, it's the 32S3, the 75S3B, and the Dentron here 1200L, pushing out about 800 watts. That's all I got for now. So if you got anything else, W6DQ and all, WA6JBD.
All right, Mel, fantastic. Very good. Yeah, nice signal up here tonight. You're doing well, and the new antenna is really working. So that was a good job on that. And yeah, a doublet with ladder line will work. Whatever your lowest band is that it's cut for, it'll work on any band above that frequency. So they're a great universal antenna. They've been around forever, and they just work. And I took a doublet here and turned it into a loop, and it works really great. So we like that. By the way, we're putting out. We're just watching this. We're running about just shy of 1,500 watts peak. on 1,500 watts on peak. Peaks, the last one I looked at was 1493, so that's pretty good. So the Alpha 87 does a nice job. We really like that amplifier. Okay, so I'm going to go to our next group. We got two. There's Ron, W6RBJ. And Ron, if you'll give it to Warren, and it's November India 5 Lima, located out in Arizona, Warren, and then Warren, if you'll give it back to me, that would be great. So Ron, take it away, W6RBJ from W6DQ. It's your turn.
Fine business there at W6DQ and the Collins Group. This is W6RBJ. Up here in the friendly north end of California, where we hit a high of about 84 degrees today and thought the world was coming to an end. Because we don't have air conditioning up here. It's like now that it's getting, the sun's starting to go down, we open the windows and it starts to cool off. But there's a time every few years that we think maybe we should buy some air conditioning, but when you only would use it about every 5 to 10 years, it's probably not worth it. On the KWM2 tonight, I can see that it's time to take this little baby out of the box and do a little switch cleaning. But I got the KWM2 with a 312V5 and running it through a 30L1 into my little trusty high gain high tower. And everything seems to be pretty good. We've got good signals tonight. Dennis, that 1,500 watts is really blasting you up here. You're pushing 5 to 10 over S9 up here. Everyone is Q5. Lowest signal strengths are probably at the 5 range, but everyone's solid copy tonight. It's always kind of interesting to me to see how, as the net begins and the sun starts to go down, the signals improve. That's 80 meters for you. Let's face it. So I'm going to probably have to do a one and done here. I've got some things I've got to take care of this evening. So I will go ahead and pass it on, but pass along my 73 to everyone, and look forward to seeing everyone next week. So make sure I got this right. I think it was NY5L Warren from the W6RBJ and the Collins Group. Take it away.
Okay, Warren, hang on a second. Yeah, Ron, I copy. I've got a feeling Warren's not copying you, but Warren doubled with you. So Warren, we run this as a round table, so we hand it around. So it'll be your turn now. But you did double with Ron, and I got most of what Ron said, but you're one and done, got that, and other projects to do, but yeah, you're not as strong as you normally are, Ron. You're usually booming in here, but tonight, not the same, but still copying you, no problem. So, Warren, go ahead and take a turn, NI5L from W6, and just give it back to me when you're done, W6DQ. I think you finished up, Warren. You're really rough copy now. Your signal has dropped a little bit, so it's kind of hard to copy you. But yeah, no worries. I got that you caught that you doubled with Ron. Not a problem. We'll work it out. But hopefully stick around and the conditions will improve a little bit as the evening wears on here. We'll be around here. Usually run till about 8 o'clock or so. And by 8 o'clock, usually the band gets a little bit more opened up. But yeah, right now you're right at my noise level, and I don't have any kind of noise reduction on the 380, so I'm not really copying it very well. I could hear you in there, and I could tell you were talking, but that was about it. So we'll try again on the next loop through. But first, I'm going to see if there's anybody else who'd like to join us. Please give me a call. This is W6DQ. Okay, hearing nothing. Okay, let's go through the list again. And we've got about we have a half an hour, so we can just go through the list again. I guess I should find out if George, are you back? W6YEC, have you returned yet? Go ahead. You bet. Go ahead and take a turn before I start over. Go ahead and pick it up. W6YEC and the Collins net W6DQ. Well, great. And yeah, I know about antenna switching problems. This thing keeps getting more complicated all the time, and the more complicated it is, the easier it is to put a switch in the wrong position. And trust me, that does happen a lot. Wait, how come I can't tune up? Oh yeah, I forgot to flip this switch. Oh well, but yeah, that's what happens when you've got lots of antennas and lots of radios. Oh my gosh, what fun though. Okay, well, glad you're back, George. And okay, let's go ahead. We'll go ahead and get back up through the list again, starting with Chuck, N6AF. Give it to Mike, W6MVM. Mike, give it to Ken, KW1NG. And Ken, give it to Dave, WJ6W. And Dave, go ahead and give it back to me. So, Chuck, take another turn, N6AF and the Collins net from W6DQ.
All right, thanks, Dennis. November 6 Alpha Fox, starting off round 2. And as mentioned before, I didn't really have any radio repair projects or anything going on. The single 3500Z project is waiting patiently for my attention. But somebody just sparked, talking about switches. This is, it's electrical, so it's related to the forum. So there's this little warehouse that's kind of out of the way over in Half Moon Bay, down by the harbor, that you really have to know where it is to find it. It's kind of hidden back amongst a bunch of Connex containers and whatnot. And my wife and I will go over there sometimes after we go to our favorite seafood restaurant called Barbara's Fish Trap in Half Moon Bay area there. But anyway, that little warehouse is neat to poke around in after having our meal. And this guy buys pallets of stuff, I guess from Costco, things that are slightly damaged and just incredible discounts. But that's not the electrical story. So we went over there a few days ago, had lunch, and then let's go check out the funky warehouse. And we pulled in, and there was another section there that I'd never seen open before. This huge double door, roll-up doors in the front. And the guy was standing out there, and he and his buddy were working on a couple of vintage pinball machines. So it turned out this was separate from the warehouse. And I talked to this guy and told him about my vintage radios that I work on. And I said, 9 out of 10 times the problem, just like with old cars, it's corrosion and bad contacts on switches and band switches and so forth, and potentiometers. And he says, yeah, you're not kidding. Look at this. He had just bought a warehouse of stuff and had it moved into there.
of I don't know how many, maybe 200 or 300 pinball machines, and all these support replacement parts. And he showed me the oldest one, 1939, so old it doesn't even have flippers. I'd never seen one without the flippers. But anyway, he's showing me inside there, and I looked at one of the schematics, and it's just a maze of a chaotic maze of switches, and relays. And some of you know what I'm talking about. And that's how they implemented that logic back then. So some of it's sequential, but a lot of it just combinatorial logic implemented with relays. So they're mechanical relays serving as flip-flops. I just found that quite fascinating. Only other people in this group would find that sort of thing fascinating. My wife was busy looking at gardening tools next door. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for running the show, Dennis. Always fun. W6MVM to take it, N6AF.
Oh, let me try again. N6AF, W6MVM. Fascinating. I did a lot of work on railroad switches and relay logic and everything else. So, I can totally appreciate pinball machine logic. And I love that kind of stuff. I was the lead field designer for Westinghouse on BART. I designed all of the most of the train controls and a lot of the station controls for BART, and had a great time at it. It was really fun. Anyway, we had a combination of electronic circuitry emulating switching, relay switching, and we also had a lot of relay switching, particularly controlling the railroad switches. And it was interesting to learn that stuff as a young engineer 45 years ago. What's more interesting is my wife, Marianne. Why isn't that triggering? K6RY. Her son is the head engineer in BART and in charge of replacing all the stuff I did 45 years ago, which is really an interesting thing. Anyway, but he's doing it, and he used to send me pictures of when he took the station equipment out of BART and replaced it with much smaller computer systems. Much smaller computer systems that he had. Anyway, enough said on that. Dennis, your 6700. I would love to have one. I got 3 6300s. I do have a 5000 as well. And the flex gear is very interesting stuff. The reason I have 3 of them, I had several locations that I put flex gear in, including my big sailing yacht down in San Diego. So, I really appreciate them. They're great CW rigs, great contesting rigs. I really love doing contesting with my 6300. I run it with several interesting pieces of software. I use SDR software-defined connections from the Ukraine, which does a great CW. I don't know what you call it. The CW splitter. It shows you all the CW signals. I run it with N1MM, which it integrates well with, and also spotters and everything else. It's just a fantastic piece of gear for contesting. It's a fantastic piece of gear for just plain CW, and I really enjoy it. I do enjoy running CW on my KWM3, not KWM3. Well, I do. KWM380 is great on CW. I also use my the 3 line, S3 line. 75 S3C and 32 S3C. 32S3, excuse me. They work great on CW too. Also, run my A-line on 75A4. I got the CW filter in it, and the KW is fine. I have run many CW conversations on it. It is, other than you have to rotate the big rotating switch to do anything, it still does a fine job on CW. So I love the Collins rig on the older Collins rigs on CW. The S3 line is superb for it, and I highly recommend anybody who does CW to do that. But also, I don't know how many Collins people ever get on CW. I never find them out there. So anyway, I'm going to say 73 Dennis, and I'm going to pass it on to KW1. Let me see here. I'm going to pass it on to KW1NG, Ken. W6MVM, 73, everybody.
Okay, Mike, very good. Kind of about 50% copy, but you did come up there at the end. I have a super high noise level all of a sudden for some reason. It's around S8, S9, and you were dancing in and out of that. Let's see. Hello. Okay. My SWR popped up for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Well, we'll figure that out later. Looks like it's still transmitting okay. Let's see. Yeah, I'm setting up a CW station. I have a from the same gentleman that I got the SB1000. He sold his 75 S3, and as you probably know, that comes native with CW and AM filters. And so I'm mating that up, working on this with a DX60, an old novice rig that I used to have. It's a different one, of course, but a DX60 and a VFO. And then I have the 30L1, which is on its list. All on a little wheelie cart, which is coming from Amazon. But it's one of those little wire wheelie carts, so it's real sturdy. And I can set that up with a board as a little step just to raise up and down. And I can have that in my bedroom and route an antenna. And I've got another place to put I'm going to put a fan dipole up to that and see how that all works out and run that into that station. So, yeah, I'm going to play with that 75S3. It seems to be in pretty good shape. The only thing is the rejection tuning seems to be a little bit off. It's kind of different from the 75S3C. It seems to notch somewhere around the 10, 11 o'clock area instead of toward the 12 o'clock area. And so that probably needs some alignment. And everything else on it seems to work okay. So looking forward to setting that up and having some fun with that with a novice rig. That's about it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody and trying to get through here. A little bit of noise, but I copied most people just fine. So I want to say 7-3 to all. I will listen out. But everybody have a very good evening. Dennis, thanks for running the net. And it's going on today. WJ6W, KW1NG.
Okay, Ken, very good. WJ6W channel here. Very good on your DX60 30L1 setup you're going to make there. And yeah, I have a DX60 with the, what's it, HR10 receiver, I think, and the VFO. Really cute little novice rig. Don't use it very much, but I like having it around. It's pretty neat. And I don't really have any ambitions for any particular projects coming up. I have about everything I want in the order I want, and I'm able to switch between everything that I need to use, so nothing exciting to report here. But Chuck, yeah, the pinball machines logic, I hadn't really thought much about that, but that must be quite a nightmare, or complex switch relay combination system there. Very interesting. I wonder if any of those schematics are online. It'd be kind of interesting to look at them, but it's got to be a real nightmare of a lot of that electromechanical stuff that we all love to play with. And let's see, Mike, very good on the bark refurbishing by, I think you said, your wife's son, and the stuff that you did, he was replacing, so that's really good. I bet you have some pretty interesting discussions about what's replacing these stuff that you did years ago. So, very interesting. Okay, I don't have much else here, so we'll say 7-3, and I'll turn it back to you, Dennis. W6DQ, WJ6W.
All right, Dave, thank you very much. WJ6W in the Collins Net, W6DQ. All right. Yeah, I can attest to the complexity of old pinball machines. I had when I was a kid, my cousin had it was a bowling machine. So it was not a pinball machine, but a bowling machine. You had this little metal puck that you'd slide down an alley and hit the little sensors. The sensors were just switches with a little wire bail on them that the puck would go over. And of course that would trigger a pin to pop up. You know, it basically fold up in the air and go out of sight. And the thing stopped working, and they didn't want to mess with it. They were moving to a new house, and so it ended up being given to me. I was probably about 12 years old, 13 years old, something like that. It wasn't working when I got it, and it was a real easy fix. I started doing some troubleshooting on it and found a bad relay with a smoked coil. Replaced the relay, and the thing just worked fine. I was the hit of the neighborhood for quite a while, having that bowling machine. All the kids wanted to come over and play with the bowling machine, so that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. But ultimately, when I moved from that house, it ended up going to gave it to the Boy Scouts, the Boy Scouts clubhouse down in Torrance, which my father was with a club that sponsored that clubhouse, and so we basically gave it to them, and they had fun with it. It was working really well. But yeah, it'd be interesting, Dave, what your comment about the schematics online. I don't know. I've never looked for them, but all I remember is the schematic was monstrous. It was very complex for my feeble brain as a young squirt. But I figured it out, got the thing working, and was able to keep it working, and it was pretty cool. So we had the coin slot disabled. I probably should have gotten the coin slot going, so I could have made some money off it from the kids in the neighborhood. But nah, we had fun with it. It was great. It was really great fun. So anyway, that's another story. Let's see. Let me take another quick break and see if there's anybody else who wants to get on the list. This is W6DQ for the Collins Net. Okay, I heard somebody in there calling me, but I'm not copying the call sign. Can anybody relay? Sorry, old man, I'm not able to copy you. Stick around. Maybe towards the end of the net, we'll try again and see if we can get you there if the conditions change. As Ken was talking about, the noise level came up here as well. So, yeah, Five Business Ken on the 75S3. That's one of my favorite receivers. I love the 75S3. I've had one for 50, coming up on 55 years that I've owned still the original one, 75S3. I've had for 55 years, and it's a great receiver. Yeah, I did a lot of CW with that radio. And let's see, what else? Yeah, the mic and the Flexes. Yeah, the Flex is great on CW. I do like that very much as well. It's a good CW rig, full break-in, just really nice QSK, real smooth, and works very nicely. All right, let me get the next group in. Whoever was calling, let me wait. I'll try again in a few minutes after the next group and see if we can pick you up or somebody else is able to pick you up. So sorry about that. Raul, over to you first, K6ASN, and then George, W6YEC, then over to Lisa, KF6QNG. And Lisa, go ahead and give it to Mel, WA6JBD, and give it back to me, and fine business on the waveguide, by the way. That's pretty cool. Low loss. But yeah, go ahead and give it back to me when you're finished. So, Raul, take it away. K6ASN from W6DQ for the Collins Net.
Yeah, W6DQ in the Collins Net, K6ASN. Not a lot to add here. Just to second what Mel was saying about doublets. Yeah, doublets are great. I would hate to see what the loss, would be on running a band that the doublet wasn't cut for. What that loss would be is through coax. Wouldn't get anywhere near the outputs that I get running through the ladder line. But even on the band that it is cut for, 80 meters. At 110 feet, I would want to say I'd at least be throwing 3 to 5 dBs of right out the window if I was to feed it with coax. But of course the enemy of ladder line is metal interaction, so you definitely want to steer clear of any roof flashing or any antenna mast you may be running the ladder line past. Just asking how I know that. Yeah, not a lot more to add. So I guess I'll say 7.3. I'll be listening out in case anyone knows of anyone who can test 811A power tubes. But with that, I'll pass it over to W6YC from K6ASN.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you very much. That reminds me, Dennis, whatever happened to Mel? I haven't heard him out for a long time.
That's a good question. We ask that question of ourselves a lot. I need to drop him a note and find out where he is. But yeah, he hasn't been on the nets for ages.
Yeah, I noticed that. Can you do me a favor if I can just take a minute to switch the channels here and see what they notice is the difference of your way?
Sure, go ahead.
Hold on. Just take a moment. Okay, that's a gentleman who knows the difference between that and the front.
Well, it's interesting. When you first came up on the loop, you dropped down a little bit, but you're back up to the same level. You're about 10 to 15 dB over 9 on peaks, and you're about the same on both antennas. How's that?
I like it, actually. That's great. I really enjoyed the coaxial antenna. I used to have coaxial top-top, as we call it. Some people call it by different names. Anyway, thanks, Dennis, for coming. Anyway, 7.3 my friend. Back over to you. You can take it away.
You dropped down
Okay,
about
thank
10
you, George.
dB here when you switched to the other antenna, W6.
So, okay, well, wish everyone a good, safe weekend, and try to stay cool, try to stay out of the fires. So, just sad always to see all the fires burning. So, anyway, just everyone be safe, take care, and with any luck, we'll be back again. So with that, it goes over to Mel, WA6JVD from KF6QNG.
All right, thank you, UNG, and Holland Group. All right, well, interesting signals are kind of all over the place here. I could not hear shock core Mike and Hammond at all. I mean, they were in there. And Dennis, when that station was calling you, I heard just the faintest whisper of a voice. George, when you switched was a price using the Palstar P50 per day balanced line tuner, and you don't get anything for nothing. So there's got to be some loss in there, but overall, very, very happy with how well it works. And my own disappointment is it does quite make me a 160. So anyway, that's all I got. I'll get you guys next week. I'll be on tomorrow night. Go on that, I think. And good to hear everybody on. You all take care. And try to stay cool. Dennis speaking, W6DQ,
Okay, Mel, thanks very much. WA6JBD, W6DQ. Very good. Oh, let's see. Yeah, interesting. George did drop a little bit, but then it came back up to about the same level it was, about 10 to 15 over, and it was consistently hitting that on peak here on the 380. So not bad, the two antennas. Let's see here. Raul, you mentioned I apologize. I was going to make a comment about that. You can test 811s on some of the tube testers. I've got a TV3, which is basically a TV7 with a roll chart instead of a flip chart. They're basically the same tube tester made by Hickok. That's one of about 3 tube testers I've got, but that one will test 811s. The thing is that it tests them it's not testing them under its normal operating conditions in a linear amplifier, where like the plate voltage is going to be much lower. But it'll give you a go, no-go test to let you know that the thing's at least good. So if you know anybody who's got something like a TV7 or a TV3, you can test them on those guys and at least know that it's the tubes, like you don't have any shorts or tubes not gassy or whatever, which is what can lead to damage. That's the kind of stuff you want to look for. So hopefully that's good information for you. You're a little bit far away from me, otherwise I'd offer up to test your tubes for you, but I don't know if you want to make a drive over here just for that. But there's probably somebody closer to you up there, I would assume. The other thing I was going to comment about, you were commenting about the RIDI contest. Yeah, I just started a new project here that I've actually been wanting to get back into for quite a while, is getting my Model 19 teletype machine going again. So I had that thing on the air for many, many years, and it got neglected when I went overseas, and it nowadays it's just a mess. So I'm basically going to have to disassemble it, clean all the parts, and rebuild the thing essentially from scratch. So it's a pretty fine-looking mess of stuff. But when it runs, that machine was just a beautiful machine to run. It had really great range, and had a lot of fun with it. So I'm looking forward to maybe getting that back on the air before too long. It's also, unlike other 19s that I know that are on steel desks, this one is on a wooden desk. It's a walnut desk, and I stripped the paint off of it and was, much to my surprise, blown away by the desk it was on. So anyway, it's a nice machine. And let's see, what else was anything else I was going to comment about? I think that's it. Well, Lisa and I are actually getting ready for an event here Monday night. We've got a barbecue coming up Monday night for the radio club here in Sierra Amateur Radio Club. So we're preparing for that and I don't even know if we probably don't even need a barbecue. We just put the stuff out on the deck and let it cook. It's so bloody hot here right now. But anyway, that's the other project going on here right now. Okay, I think Ron checked out. So Warren, let me catch you, see if you're still here. NI5L, take a turn and drop it back to me again. So take it away. NI5L from W6DQ. Go ahead.
W6DQ in the group, NI5L. Your signal is cut up above. I've been able to hear everything you had to say. So, not much on this end. Like I said, this is a new-to-me Collins KWM2, and I'm driving an Alpha with it into a dipole. Having fun with this thing, really enjoying it. Balled off a Foster's Polish up in Pahrump, Nevada, and it's a lot of fun. I've always wanted a KWM2. I heard you talking about a wheeled cart with mesh on it. That's what I've got. The KWM2, my Drake TR7, and my 6-meter amplifier on. And it allows you to roll it around and put it all the way up on my primary station radio and K4. So anyway, that's about all on this, and back over to you. W6DQ and the Collins Group, MI5L.
All right, Warren, fantastic. Well, welcome to the group here, and look forward to having you come back and join us again in the future, and welcome to the world of Collins. You have a bunch of people here that are obsessed with Collins equipment, myself especially. So you'll find a lot of information here on Collins, a lot of folks using Collins gear. We have quite a bit of Collins equipment here. Others have mentioned different vintage gears. We've got radios from every decade that Collins made amateur equipment and commercial equipment. So we've got a little bit of everything in the shack here. And your signal came way up as well, by the way. Thank you on that. I wanted to comment about that. You came up to about 10 over. Very easy copy. And so there you go. And I should mention to you, we have another net on during the week on Tuesday nights, which is a vintage sideband net. That's our vintage, what we call the vintage single sideband roundtable. And at the same time, same frequency, we come on at 7 o'clock. The net starts at 7, and we run on 3895. And the only requirement is you run something that was manufactured on or before 1980, or it's something that's home built with a design that goes back to the days before 1980. And it's a lot of fun. We pose a question of the evening every week, and a lot of the folks that are here on this net are there on Tuesday nights as well. So do come and join us for that if you can. We would welcome you over there and see what happens. All right, I'm going to try one more time. There was somebody who was trying to call me. Hopefully you stuck around. And let's see if I can copy you to see if the band is picked up a little bit now that the sun is down. Try one more time for W6DQ. Go ahead. Oh, no, Bob. I'm going to put you on the list. What's going on down in your neck of the woods, sir? AK6R, W6DQ. Very good, AK6R W6DQ. Well, super. Well, sounds good. I assume you're running barefoot because you're not as strong as you normally are. Okay, got it. Yeah, it shows because I've got a pretty high noise level, and you're in there with the noise. So, but thanks for the call. Thanks for giving us a call with it. Cubic 103. We'll probably hear that on Tuesday night, hopefully. That sounds good. All right, let me find out anything else from anyone for the net at this time. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. Anybody having anything else before I close the net? Please come now. Oh, yeah, you came up about 10 to 20 dB. You're about 30 over now. Wow. Okay, that made a big difference.
Okay, thanks. I'm just playing with the controls. Thanks, Dennis. That's got me a bit off.
You bet, Bob. Hey, thanks very much, and glad you were able to jump in there, and you sounded good. Yeah, that did the trick. You came way up. All right, with that, I'm going to thank everybody for participating with us tonight on the Collins Net. This has been a great net. Really enjoyed it. A lot of fun, and appreciate getting a clear frequency from other operators so that we could carry on with the net. And at this time, I'm going to return the net to its normal operations and close the Friday Night Collins Net. So 7-3, and we'll see everybody next week. This is W6DQ. We will be shortly QRT. Bye-bye.